I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I am Zoe Frost with Celebration Magazine Live, and today we are here for a Zoom and Learn with Aware Care Network, and that would be our friend Kim Scarlett. Now, before we get to Kim's official introduction, do want to remind everyone, don't forget that we have, what do we have? Bingo on Thursday. So don't forget to join us for bingo. Then next Tuesday, we have the Collin County History Museum. They are doing one of their fantastic talks about the history of Collin County. It's just amazing. Pat always does a fantastic job. And then what else? What else is going? We've got a happy hour, I think, next Wednesday. And then we've got an exploring tour. See, look, my eyebrows went crazy there. We've got an exploring tour, not an exploring tour, an in and about with the Preston of the Park Cities. And we are going to be playing bingo with them too. We're going to play bingo between video cuts of a tour of their community, and they're going to be giving away a spa package, a dinner for two package, and then the grand prize is what I like to call the Pamper Me package, and that is the spa package and the dinner package. So you get to experience both things. Let me tell you, that community is absolutely gorgeous. So make sure you tune in, and they use a lot of purple. That's one of my favorite colors to decorate. So, you know, I absolutely loved it. So make sure you come check that out. All right. That being said, we've got Kim Scarlett here with us today. She is with the Aware Care Network, and she works with a system that is called Grand Care. Now, what this system is, it says 11 o'clock in the magazine. It does. Yeah, let me work on that, Vivian. Let me figure that out for you. We might still stick it with 11. We're going to figure that out. I'll let you know. I totally forgot. Thank you for the reminder. What we are going to do is Kim is going to show you her Grand Care product. And what this is this is an in-home tabletop countertop solution that is super easy to use, that enables you to stay in your home and stay independent longer. And it can also help stop those worrisome, troublesome calls from family. We all love to hear from family, but sometimes there is a point when it's too much and you're like, look, I got this, kids. Okay. So Kim's going to show you all the tools that are available for you through this system. So I'm just going to turn it over to Kim. Kim, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Zoe. I appreciate that. Just a little bit about myself. My background, I have a technology background of about 20 years. I'm not an engineer, but I've been selling solutions for approximately 20 years. Any kind of solution, internet, wireless, servers, telecommunication systems, most recently, smart home audio video solutions for the past 3 years. So if you have questions about anything else, you know, anything technological, I'm probably going to be able to help you answer it. So by all means, you know, throw that in it doesn't have to be about Aware Care necessarily or the Grand Care system. You can just ask me a question. I'm happy to answer it for you. If you can get any kind of clarification out of me today, that's fine with me. So I'm going to share my screen with you real quick. And here's my PowerPoint. You can see that. Can you see that? You got that, Zoe?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. All right. So the reason I got into this business is because we had a slowdown, obviously, of smart home products when I was working for another company that did manufacture products. And these folks that you'll see here, there you go, they are my great aunt and great uncle. That's Dot and Jerry. And they went into assisted living during the middle of COVID, probably at the very, very beginning of COVID. The reason this looks a little fuzzy is because they had to have their picture taken through the window. When I saw that, this is the last picture I saw of my great uncle and great aunt, because when they went in, 2 months later, my uncle passed away, not from COVID, but my aunt did get COVID and was taken out of assisted care and brought back home. I just knew that I could do something about that. I know technology enough that I could put some technology together to help them and help people that want to stay home versus go into the assisted living facility. So that was my motivation behind starting Aware Care Network. Now I picked the product because it is been around for so long. A software product that's been around for 15 years is really hard to beat. They have a big jump on these types of products. There's all kinds of different products that do one or two of all the things my product does, but not everything. These guys have it really, really down pat and super support. So those are the reasons why I went with the Grand Care system. Now, who do I serve? I'm not going to pretend that I serve anybody over here on the left-hand side that has a level of independence that doesn't need any help. They own their own home. That's like 20% of folks that are elderly maybe, but don't need any help. They're in great shape. They don't take a lot of medications. They're in good shape. And on the other side of the fence here, high dependency folks who need hospice or hospitalization, those aren't my folks either. And that's 15 to 20%. But here in the middle, we got 60% of everybody else in the world that could really benefit from a product like mine. So that's why I'm in this business. And why do I do it via technology? Is because there's just a lot of shortages right now for caregivers. If you hire a professional home caregiver, they're pretty pricey, even if they come in once a week. And you're either on a wait list for people to come see you, or you're just not yet. You don't want to do something yet as far as assisted living. The cost of nursing home care or assisted living care is pretty high. I've heard up to $6,000 actually the other day. I was pretty shocked by that. And you have a buy-in process that you do as well, which is usually pretty pricey. So I knew I could do something that could keep you out of that situation for at least an extended period of time. And how does it work? So I used to go into the technology of how it works, but now all I do is kind of show it to you. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the screen. Okay, so this is a touch screen. It's a 17-inch touchscreen. That's a fairly large screen. When we go to the demo, I'll pull it off my desk. There's one sitting right next to me. I'll pull it off my desk and I'll show you just how large that is. They used to make laptops 17 inches, but they don't anymore. Pads and laptops shrunk down. But being that it's that large, it's real easy to see. And it connects to medical devices, and it also connects to these sensors up here. And the sensors will show either movement or contact or heat or cold. So it can sense a lot of different things and report that data to whomever you so choose. The kinds of digital health monitoring devices that it supports are, I have this one actually is a temperature gauge here. So for my thermometer, and an oximeter, which judges my oxygenation, my blood and my blood pressure here, right here in the middle. And we've got weight, which is digital scale that judges also BMI and water and body fat content and all that good stuff in one fell swoop. So you step on that, you get all that data. And this is a glucose meter over here. So it supports all 5 of these solutions. Oop, did I skip one? Yeah, I did. The caregiver, the folks that you're giving these data information access to, they have an app on their phone. They can have it also on a desktop or laptop like mine, or they can put the app on their phone, and then they can add information to the Grand Care system and receive information from you. So that's how that works. You can set up alerts based on that app. So if I have a particular alert that's set up, so if my temperature happens to spike to over 100, someone gets a phone call, or someone gets an email, or someone gets a text message. However you want that set up, I can set it up for you like that. And then that person can respond to any one of either your medical solutions or maybe a sensor, a movement sensor, however you want to do that. The resident communication on your calendar, I'm going to show that to you and how to add events to your calendar. We certainly want celebrations events added to the calendar. So I'm gonna put bingo on there, and I'm going to put all their events on that calendar for you so you can see it. And I'll show you how you can add any events you like on your calendar so you can see it on a daily basis. And I can also broadcast an emergency or a notification if I have that app. So if I'm a caregiver and I have the app, I can send an emergency message to your screen that lights up. It also makes a really drastic noise like your TV when there's an emergency. And that message will tell you what's up. Like, is there a tornado coming? Should you take cover? Is there a fire close by? We had an explosion. I mean, down the street, I had an explosion the other day. Somebody's house exploded literally, and I didn't know how close it was. So I would have loved it if somebody would have told me, hey, Kim, there's an explosion of a house not a mile away. It's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So I can do that if I have the app and the access to your system. But mostly all this is about, it's about your satisfaction, what you can do with this product, if it's fun, if it's usable. We want all of those things to be the case. We don't want everything to be about collecting data and pushing data to whomever you choose. We want it to be useful for you as well. So we add things to it that make it fun. I've added games. We add different types of journals. Your calendar, obviously. Photos can be uploaded by people who have access to your system. I have all of these different types of things to keep you entertained. So at least it's a fun thing for you to tackle every day. And it's nice to have it, especially with the video call situation. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to demonstrate it. I have the system sitting next to me, and I'm going to emulate that system on my screen. So when you see me click or you hear me click, that would really be you touching the screen to create the interaction. I'm clicking because I'm doing it with a connection as opposed to right on the screen that I have next to me. So that's why you might hear me clicking a mouse, but you won't be clicking, you'll be touching that screen. So let's go to my login here. I'll log into my system. You won't be doing this. It'll be up all the time. It'll be shown to you. Okay. I'm going to show the touch screen. First, let me show you. So I'm going to drag this over this way and then let you see me. This is the size of the screen. It's a good size screen. You could
I'm gonna stop your share, Kim, so that way they can see you nice and big and how large it is.
Yeah, it's really, really a nice screen, and it is touch. I can touch everything and get information via touch. So yeah, that's what I'm accessing when I'm showing you this on my screen. Okay, now you can go back to my share.
I can't do it. You have to do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry about that. Okay. Here we go. Now I'm going to show the touch screen. You let me know when you can see that screen. Make it a little bigger. Let's get it all the way. So can you go ahead and see? Can you see that touch screen?
I see the Fort Worth, Texas skyline.
Perfect. Okay. The reason you see the Fort Worth, Texas skyline, I have pictures uploaded that are based around artwork and architecture and cityscapes and flowers and birds. And I've uploaded every single type of photo you can slide through there. If you want personalized photos that just scroll, like a digital photograph frame, we can throw those on there and you won't ever have to see the Fort Worth skyline. I just happen to like all of the products, so I use them all. Up here, you'll see the time. And here, if you click on the weather and you want to know what the weather might be tomorrow, you just click, and here you go. Here's your, I think it's a 5-day forecast probably, and you get the current conditions and your humidity and all of that. So you'd be touching that to find out what maybe current conditions are versus the following, few days that you might need it. I'm going to skip slideshow for right now, but I'm going to give you the information for video call. So if I use this phone for a video call, it takes me 6 steps, I believe, just for me to do this. So I get my phone, I turn it on, I access the interior app, I go to the person, I click on call, they have to click this. So that I counted the number of steps I've had to take to call someone on video or FaceTime or whatever it is. This is two steps, video call. And you're going to see some people come off. Look, there's Zoe.
Well, you can call me.
I still have Zoe in there. John Paul is my caregiver. He has access and has emergency notifications from me. And he has the app on his phone. I don't want to click it because I think I remember speaking to him yesterday and he said he was in a meeting today and I didn't want to click it.
You can click me, Kim.
Oh,
See if it goes
no, I
through.
don't think so. I don't think you have, I don't think you
Oh,
guys still have the app. He has the app. So it
maybe.
would video call him through the app. That's the important thing. It doesn't have to be that way with email or text, but it has to be that way. If you're going to call someone, I'd need to add them as a person who has the app. So that's but if I clicked him, it would definitely ring him and he would pick up. 2 steps, not 6, not 8, just 2. And that's your list of folks that, have the app and that you can call on a regular basis. I have a button right here, right down here that says need help. That goes to him as well. And it goes to him via a phone call, not a text message. But I could make it text, phone, and email. We can hit somebody, quickly. I can change the naming of that button to anything really, like check-in. If I would want someone to check in the morning with me to make sure they're up and about, then they can use it as a check-in button. We can use it for a lot of different things. I just happen to have it as a need help. I can push that button and JP will get that information from me. So let's go through the main menu here. I'm gonna grab, so here's all your buttons on the main menu. And once you go to the main menu, you're gonna see this button for today, which is, gosh, it's got your calendar on it. It's got the weather, which we've already seen, and news. The schedule is super easy to look at. I have 2 notifications that are set up in my system. One for 6 a.m. that tells me to take a medication, and one for 8 that tells me to take my night medication. Those are my 2 events that I have set up that roll through my screen and remind me. As a calendar though, I checked on the calendar, I would look at a whole view of everything I had to do that month. Like there's a movie night, I've added a movie night on a Thursday night for me to look at. To do that, you just click events here, add event, and you can add a reoccurring event like one of Zoe's Tuesday lunch and learn type things, or you can add just about anything you want. But we can go ahead and click through that and add calendar events for you. Someone as well as your caregiver that has the app can add those events too. So that's good for them. And I'm going to go back to the main menu. Health. Health is a big deal for folks to track information. My folks, and you would think they would have one of these systems, I know, but they don't, because I live in, I was brought up in an Amish community primarily. So Amish versus English. I know that's a little strange. They don't have a lot of internet access. And they don't have wireless access very well. They have some, but not very strong. So they don't get the benefit of having this tool. I would give it to them in a heartbeat though, because they write down all of their blood pressure and their glucose. My father has diabetes. They write it all down on a piece of paper. I don't want them to do that. I don't want you to do that. So I want you to have the ability to have your vitals uploaded when you use one of my medical devices. That data that comes from that medical device automatically uploads into this system. And how you view that, and here's all of the manual readings you can do as well. So let's say you don't have one of my medical devices. You want to use your own. That's fine. You can just click on any one of the medical devices you're tracking and add it manually to the system. So you don't have to have an automated tool, but it sure is nice than having to add it. But here's the vitals that I have. Here's the 2 medical devices I told you I have. And let's go to temperature. And this will show you, I've taken my temperature quite a number of days. But interestingly enough, earlier this month, here around the 6th, 4th and 6th, I had a temperature. It was 99.5, 99.7. My temperature is not that high ever. As you can see, I'm on the low side. So I knew I had something coming on. And my girlfriend, Friday on the 6th, wanted to know if she could drop by. Well, at 9:20 a.m., I took my temperature and told her no. It was 99.5. And I wasn't comfortable because I'm pretty sure I was contagious with whatever I had. Wasn't COVID, by the way, just a cold, just a bad cold, sinus infection, but I knew it. I knew it because I'm being proactive enough to be able to take my temperature. No, I'm not feeling perfect. And by golly, I got a temperature. And if I have one, I don't want anybody else to get what I have, obviously. So I did that. The other thing I've done is track an oximeter. And I didn't know what an oximeter was till about 2 years ago. An oximeter checks your oxygenation of your blood. It's a big deal here in COVID. If you drop below 95, it's a big deal because that means you're not getting enough oxygen circulating in your blood. And you can see that my oxygen level and my pulse levels are pretty good. I usually take this after I've done a little bit of exercise. So that's why my pulse tends to be a little bit higher. Normally my resting pulse is 66 to 68. I know that, but I can track all this data. I also can take this data and export it and give it to my doctor if I wanted to. If I wanted to show this to my doctor, let's say we were on a call and he's on my video call list and we're having a telehealth conversation, and I let him look at my glucose readings or my blood pressure readings, or the weight of me. If I can be proactive in telling him, hey, I gained 3 pounds in 2 days. I don't think my blood pressure medicine is right, or I don't think the water pill I'm taking is doing its job. Whatever you can do to be proactive to give this data to your doctors, it's better than waiting that 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, time period that you get to go see a doctor. It's much more effective if you can do this now. So let's go back to some more kind of fun things. Message Center. This is messages I can load. If I have the app, I'm a caregiver, I can give you a message. Look at the emergency messages I've done in my demos. I've done quite a few of those. And letters. We view letters in my database, in my system, as email. It's basically email. It's email that only I can send to specific people that are on my list to get it. And they can send to me if they have the app. It is not basic email where it goes over the internet and into the cloud and out of the cloud and back to that person. There's a reason for that. And the reason is so you don't get spam in this box. You don't get any spam. You don't have any virus issues. You don't get people trying to scam you or phish you for different things. The letters portion is specifically set up so that you can contact a person and they can contact you. And it looks like email, but it's just between you and that person, right? So I can hit compose, do an email, send it, no problem. Play, I like the play buttons. Games, I also play a lot of solitaire, I gotta admit, I do, and Candy Crush, but we don't have Candy Crush on here, but I do have quite a few games of word search, memory games. Games actually do help you keep your mind sharp. I play a lot of mind sharp games. I like Candy Crush because it is a mind sharp game. Word search I've done. I do solitaire. So these are fun kind of little games that keep me, kind of get me going in the morning. Traditionally, I do them in the morning so I can get my mind working. We have local radio program stations I can set up for you. And we have radio programs we've added that are, it's kind of interesting. We've added some audio books, classic literature, Car Talk. If you're a Car Talk mechanic, we've put that kind of podcast on there, and some old school shows like Dragnet, The Lone Ranger, The Shadow. If you have interest in another a show that you haven't seen in a long time that you'd like to hear over like a radio program, let me know and I'll see if we can get it uploaded. But it's kind of cool to listen to the old school stuff. I like it anyway. There's trivia. There's a grab bag. I hesitate to do.
If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion.
So he does, the guy that does this, I happen to know him at Grand Care, and he uploads all these famous quotes and these interesting grab bags of things you can get on a regular basis. Now trivia, he does not. So trivia is just a question. And let's see, which part of the book is the forward, the beginning, or the end? Again, these are almost like mental games that you're playing and you get I can get the answer. We can do multiple trivia questions. There's hundreds in here. So I don't think you'll ever get over the number of trivia questions that we have put in here. So that's kind of the fun part, which I like. I like the fun part of this game. Photos. Let's go into photos. This is my Louie. I only have 2 photos besides the ones that scroll. And my Louie's a kitty. There he is. Isn't he adorable? Don't we all love him? He's a pistol. But so here's a situation where I used my Grand Care system to help me with Louie. Louie has UTIs. He goes to the bathroom a lot when he's sick. The vet told me that if I can catch that early enough, that I can get him some medications or basically supplements that will help him so that I don't have to drag him to the vet all the time. So what I did was I pointed a motion sensor at his litter box. And if I get notified that he's in his litter box a lot, like cats traditionally a couple times a day, no big deal. If they're in there at night, 3-4 times a night, I know there's a problem. And I know I need to get him on his supplements right away. So that helped me immensely, even manage my own cat's issues with his UTI problems. And I love him to death and I want him to be around forever. But if I let that go, if I don't have the solution and I let it go, and I just, by the time I discover it, he's in a bad situation, I'm going to the vet spending hundreds of dollars and we're going on some serious medication. So it's kind of I'm just trying to prove a point of how, how you can utilize this and help everybody in the interim, and how do you get through some pretty tough things. So let's go to caregiving. Okay, I can also, any photos you want to have uploaded, not a problem. And let's say you have a family member who went to a wedding. You didn't go, but they went to the wedding. If they want to upload those photos to your screen so you can see the wedding photos that they took, perfectly capable of doing all that. So that's another instance where I've seen people use that photo section. Caregiving is a whole different thing. Caregiving is, so I'll give you an example of when caregiving was beneficial for someone that I sold the system to. 2 sisters who lived very close to their father would alternate days to go take care of their dad. And they would write different things. They would check in with the system, and then they would go look at the notes that their sister left for them to check out, how their father was feeling, what kinds of things they needed to do, if there was a care plan. So here's the plan. Hey, girl, can you clean the cat box for me and start the laundry? And tomorrow I'll come in, finish it, and I'll tell you by clicking the box that I went ahead and did those things. So if I click the box, great, checked it off, close, and we're all good. So those 2 sisters just did this as an exchange. Now you can do it as if a caregiver's coming into your home and you're paying somebody to do that, by all means, have them come check in. They have their own solutions and software. I can usually connect to those solutions, but I also think it's important for them to be accountable for the time that they come in and the time that they leave, and to make sure the things that they do get done. If you want things added to their list to do when they're here. They may only come once a week, so you may want them to do quite a bit. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to everybody.
That makes sense.
Awesome. So I am going to go back to the main menu. I think I'm pretty done here as far as like how much stuff we went over. Here's my gray owl. He's pretty. If anybody has any questions, like I said, if you have technical questions about internet, landlines at home, wireless applications in your home, security for cameras, things like that, I have a good working knowledge of all of those things. So feel free to ask me. No question is silly to me. Not at all.
All right, I'm going to add myself. I'm going to keep your screen share up just in case.
Sure.
Just in case somebody says, hey, show me how to do this, or what's this, or whatnot.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not adding me, whatever, that's fine.
Gosh, so.
Fine. It won't let me. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So, someone asked, so where exactly is the information stored for like the blood pressure, your temperature, your pulse oximeter, and how long is that information stored for?
So you have it in a tool internally that you would have on the app. The app is the person who probably cares the most about this information, but it's stored here for 1 year. You can keep it in this system. This system is closed, and meaning it's not, I'm accessing my system remotely right now, but this is a compact tool like a computer that has a hard drive, and it's in this tool. It's not up in the cloud. So from a HIPAA compliance perspective, not an issue. You have control of all of that data, and it's going to be stored for a year.
Perfect. So it is stored locally, not remotely.
Not
and
remotely.
you will have records for upwards of 12 months.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
And other questions? That was a great question, actually.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
And
really
that's
good.
one thing that's really important to point out too, what Kim was talking about is especially like as far as the email is concerned, it's not an email. It's not stored on some other servers. It's nothing like that. It is literally from system to system. It's not a Gmail. It's not, a Verizon.net. It's not an @me.com. It's nothing like that. So actually that brings up a good question. So Kim, say so how would it work if, for example, somebody in the room wanted to email me? Are they able to email outside emails, and am I able to respond to that, or does it somebody that has to be set up in the system?
They have to be set up in the system.
Okay.
Have to have the app to access the letter box. We call it a letter box as opposed to email. I can send email to someone's email. So I have email set up for JP, and he gets email and he gets text messages. But if he wants to send me something, he has to do it via the app. If I want to call him via video, I have to be able to hit that app for that video to work. But text, phone, and Gmail, or whatever you want to use, I can take this information and send it out. I just can't receive back and forth the letters.
Okay, got it. Makes sense. Okay, so back to the question about all of your health data that is stored in there. Is there a way for someone to save it and print it out?
Yeah, you can export it in a graph form, or you can export it in the way I had it. You can do it in a graph, or you can do it in the way I had it, which was kind of like an Excel spreadsheet. You can export that and then keep it, print it, take it with you if you want to go to the doctor and show them that way.
Can you show us how that might be done? So that way people would get an understanding of.
Oh, we didn't even go over medication. I'll do that next. I forgot totally about that after moving vitals. Okay, so here I am visiting my vital history. Here's my oximeter potential. And then here is the show graph information. So if I want to show the chart or the graph, I change it either way. And then inside the system, I will show you how to pull that data and push it. It's got to be done inside the system with a caregiver's access. So I have to show you how to do that, to download that information. But you can go back, months and months and months of this information.
Great. And so that brings up, before you go into the medications, because I know you wanted to talk about those. So that brings up a great point of what you just said is you were there to help with any back end programming, anything that they don't, so our users don't have to worry about setting up the information that's in here themselves. You can either do it for them at their home, or you can walk them through the process of how it's done. Train the caregivers on how to do it. So that way, your family member, whoever's monitoring the system for you, they'll be able to do it. So, and that's why the first time we talked about this, we showed a lot of the back end, which can be really confusing. So that's why we went with functionality, just as far as this time of what a user would do and see. So awesome.
Yeah, I absolutely am going to be taking care of that for you. You want certain sensors put up for doors, opening doors, closing doors, access to the outdoors. If you want the front door closed, open, I put all those sensors up and I manage it inside the system for you. So you're just using things. You're not having to manage through all this process. And I'm going to teach you how to use it, so you have a good grasp of the data that you want to get and how we do that. So that's on me. Absolutely. I want to do, well, fitness and meditation are really cool because there's actually, I didn't show you this, but there's little fitness cardio exercises and things that we've added recently. And we did add meditation recently because people were asking for that. So this is kind of cool to start your day with. But medication is one of the more difficult things for people. It's not for me. As you can see, I take 2. Here's my 2. People that take 8 to 10, that's a lot of meds to keep track of. So the best thing about this that I like is it has a picture of the meds for you. So I've got family that takes medication and they write on top of the bottles, 1 time a day, 1 time PM, what have you. And then the bottle's sitting a lazy Susan in the middle of the table, and I get all that, how you're tracking it all. But this has the picture of the medication, what it is. And if I click on it, it's going to tell me what the generic name is, who the doctor is that assigned it to me, what pharmacy I get it from, because that could be different, RX numbers, if that's important to your druggist, the dosage and directions, and then what am I taking this for? And then here's what it looks like. So I don't have to get confused about when and what and how much and all of that, and where did I get it? And oh my gosh, I can't remember what doctor prescribed this to me. And if you have this data for the doctor, a lot of times these doctors will be able to go, oh, wow, I'm the health doctor, but that's the heart doctor. And I know my medication is not going to sync with their medication. So if you add giving access to your doctor with this information, it makes a world of difference to them. And they can everything you're taking from whomever you're getting that prescription from. So that's why I like this product myself. But these are just a couple of products I take, but oh my gosh, you could be into the 8 to 10. I think my folks are in the 8 to 10.
So, so this information to them would be downloadable and printable, correct?
Yes, you can print it. I usually, for folks that have telehealth, telemedicine, I give their doctors access to this information so they can see what the meds are and the descriptions and all of that. So that's why there's an RX number that means something to them. It means
right.
So I give access for telehealth to the doctors that have the ability to look at this.
So the reason why I'm asking is because I'm thinking of all of our travelers out there, because whenever they travel with us, they need to supply a list of all of their medications and what they're taking. And that way we have that information, heaven forbid, if something would happen. But this would be so much easier than having to call your doctor and try and get all your doctors to send you stuff, especially if your primary care physician doesn't have a list of everything. I mean, this would be a really helpful tool. As far as that's concerned.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
You're thinking.
Okay, so here's the question. Is the medication information about the various pills, is it part of the information? It's not. I'm going to answer the question and I'm going to redirect the question because they're not asking the right thing. So Kim is the company. Kim is Aware Care. The product that she is showing you is from a company called Grand Care. So no, the medication information is not in a database by Aware Care. So the question would be, Kim, then is, where is the medication information as far as what the pill looks like and all that fun stuff? Where is that information coming from?
It's stored. I can put it inside. If you want me to have access to that information, I can go ahead and log all of that information in for you.
Well, no, that's not what we're asking.
I can do that.
No, I mean, as far as like the picture and the description of what it is, like, is all of that, like if I put in that I'm on, I don't know, Celebrex, okay, that's just what popped into my head. Does it auto-populate the picture and what the medication is, or that's information that you actually pool? You take a picture of the pill, you enter all the information. Got it. So
I do all that.
Perfect. Okay, so it's not just generic information that's pulled from a database. It is actually physically their pills that they're taking. That's what the picture is from. And the information is the information that's been provided by the physician that's prescribing the medication.
Yeah. Yeah,
Perfect.
I pull for that and I add it.
Great. So there you go. So that would be the answer to that question. All right. Well, great.
We're good?
I don't see any other questions in
Okay.
here. Awesome job. I have a
Thanks.
much better understanding of what the system is and how it can work and what it can do. I could definitely see how it would be handy. Can you so like is there one other question? If they need to take their medication, right?
Mhm.
There is a reminder that flashes on the screen that they have to acknowledge.
Yep.
What if they don't acknowledge it? What happens then?
Well, whatever they would like to happen. So
Okay.
I can do all kinds of things with that data. So I have the ability to send an email, a text message, or a phone call to someone if they so choose. If I have the notification that runs across my screen that tells me to do it, right?
Right.
But I don't have it set up so that everybody gets notifications if I don't take my meds. If I
Okay.
don't click the med button and that I took it, it's not going to activate, everybody's text message and saying, Kim didn't take her meds. Or if I just forget, let's forget one morning, I can connect my systems with a sensor that puts a light on in my living room. Take your 6 a.m. meds. The light went on in the living room. Oh, shoot, light went on in the living room. I forgot to take my meds. So I can do that so that not everybody in the world needs to know I didn't take my med. I forgot.
Right.
But I get a little reminder, and I didn't look at my screen to see the reminder. So boom, the living room light came on.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
I'm thinking back to like my super independent people, right?
Yeah.
Because I think about me, because look, I still forget to take medication when I have to take medication, right?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
could you set the system up to like, okay, here's a great example. So I'm traveling, right? I'm going to Branson, okay? And I have my system at home, obviously, I'm not bringing it with me, right? But while I'm out of town, I could have the system set up to actually send myself, a text message to remind me to take my medication.
Yep.
Wow. That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We're finding some awesome functionality for this. I love this.
Yeah.
So it's even great because you can even use it. There's still functionality you can use when you're not there. So you're not tied to this system and you're not tied to your house, which I think is awesome.
You're not.
That's great.
There are people have asked me, and I'm just going to throw this out there. People have asked me a lot lately about detection. And fall detection happens with systems when someone falls quickly. Manage that solution. Most people do not fall quickly. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that. A lot of the times they'll go down on one knee, it's a slow series which doesn't get censored. Right. So I told people there are two solutions. One's called Life Phone. That is a solution that looks like a watch. It has a button and it looks just like a Fitbit. So it's not something big clunky you're wearing around your neck anymore. You don't have to do that. You can just have a little Fitbit looking watch, and that is a button that you can use anywhere. You can be at the grocery store, out gardening, whatever you want to use. That product has worked really well overall, and I think it's a pretty cool product. And they have, I believe they have necklaces for women that look like necklaces. They don't look like pendants, that carry around. So everybody knows you've got a life alert system that's sitting around. But there's another system that I can get sensor. It looks very, like an iWatch or whatever. But it is only good with my system when you're in the range of my system. Okay. So if you're in the garage, or if you're out gardening pretty far in the backyard, you might not be able to connect with that. So there's limitations to that tool, whereas Life Phone is one of those you wear around
anywhere. Yeah.
Anywhere. So when people have asked me those questions lately, I've given them those two choices. But the best thing about either one of them is they look like one of these.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, you can't see me, but I wear something that looks like it too.
You have everybody's wearing these now. So
Okay, I have a question. This is a good question. It's a question I should have asked. What's my cost? So I want to put this in my home. How much am I paying?
Why didn't somebody ask that question?
Somebody did ask it. I did. Somebody
No, I
else
should
did.
have thrown that out there, right?
Right?
Gone right to it. What I try to give people a ballpark. So I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. I have about 4 sensors. I got 2 medical devices. It's anywhere between $1,000 to $1,200 for me to gather all of these products and do your programming. Come in, set it up, train you on it, and any caregiver that needs to be trained on it. And then on a monthly basis, it's around $50 to $70, depending on how many devices, how many sensors. I manage all of those products. So if something goes wrong with them, you call me, I take care of the situation remotely, or sometimes I'll have to come out and try to manage it.
Okay, great.
Okay, so there's a monthly incurrence cost and there's a upfront cost. If you want me to roll the upfront cost into the monthly, I can do that too.
Awesome. So there's options, which is always good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, wonderful. All right, guys. Well, I think that about does it for today. Let's take ourselves off mute. Thank you so much, Kim. Great information. I think we really got some great ideas of different ways systems can be used to make our lives easier. It's not all scary. It can all be helpful, right? Look, even I'm scared. I still don't own an Alexa. Don't make fun of me. All right.
You've got eyebrows and lips.
I do. There you go. All right, guys. Well, Kim, thank you so much for today.